All right, there are reports that Belichick and the Patriots are going to split up at the end of the season. We all know
Yep.
that he's been trying to chase Shula's record. But do we have faith in him being this old and him being able to get there? And where do you think that he'd end up if he were to end up on another team next season?
So with with the right team, I do think he could get there. So the underrated part of the Patriots is this last month, they've had the best defense in the NFL, despite not having Matthew Judon and despite not having Christian Gonzalez. They lost to the Colts, they allowed 10 points. They lost to the Giants, they allowed 10 points. They lost to the Chargers, they allowed 6 points. They beat the Steelers, they allowed 18 points. The defense has been quite good, and that's Belichick's specialty. Obviously, he should not be picking the players anymore, and obviously the offensive side of the game has kind of passed him by. But I have I'll tell you right now, DeMonte, I have the most fun option for him. So we can just go division by division and talk about where there could be openings where he could land, okay? AFC East. The Dolphins are obviously not going to change coaches. The Bills might, the Jets might. I do not think the Patriots would ever trade him to one of those two teams. He hates the Jets. I don't think he wants to go there. And the Bills, if they were to move off of McDermott, they would probably want an offensive-minded head coach. So let's cross out the AFC East. The AFC North, there will be no coaching changes. Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Bengals. People are speculating, could the Steelers move on from Mike Tomlin? I think that's crazy, but if they did, they wouldn't go to just, an older defensive coach. They would want to change things up entirely. I don't think there's going to be any coaching changes there. The AFC South definitively will have no coaching changes. Jags, Colts, Texans, Titans, I would think are all thrilled with their coaches. Vrabel, yes, they're having a tough year. They're not moving off Mike Vrabel. He's one of the better coaches in the league, so cross that out. The AFC West, obviously the Broncos and Chiefs are not changing coaches. The Chargers likely will. The Raiders already have. I think both of those franchises are too cheap. Certainly the Chargers are too cheap to pay Belichick what he makes, and the Raiders are still paying Gruden and paying McDaniels, and I don't think Belichick wants Tom Brady to be one of his bosses, so because he's a part owner or wants to be a part owner of the Raiders. So I think we can cross out the whole AFC. Before I go to the NFC, go ahead, DeMonze.
Go ahead.
No, it
What?
looked like you wanted to say something about something I said. If you
Oh
don't
yeah,
worry about
no,
it.
it was when you said something about the Chargers. I was thinking about Belichick going to the Chargers, but you said something about them being cheap. I
Listen,
get that.
I think that would be a good fit, and he'd have a quarterback, but I don't think the Spanos family's going to pay him. So now we go to the NFC East. Giants, Eagles, Cowboys are not changing their coaches, but what I will tell you is Galaxy Brain take by Nora Princiati that I heard this morning on the Ringer NFL show. She said, what if the Cowboys have just a devastating, mortifying playoff defeat? Could Jerry Jones be like, screw it, I'm firing McCarthy? And would Belichick work there? Absolutely he would. The offense is already built. You could, I don't think McCarthy's going to get fired. I don't think the Cowboys are going to have a mortifying playoff defeat. But that's Nora Princiati's kind of hypothetical that I thought was super intriguing. But let's just assume they're not firing Mike McCarthy. They're going to win 13, 14 games this year. Washington is definitely moving off Ron Rivera. Would Bill Belichick want to go there? Very similar spot as New England, where all of a sudden you're in a really tough division, you don't have a quarterback. So I'm crossing them off. The NFC North, the only team that's going to fire their coach potentially is the Bears. The Bears are going to draft Caleb Williams. You want an offensive-minded head coach that can pair with Caleb Williams for the next decade, not a defensive-minded head coach who's the second oldest coach in the league. The NFC West, I don't think any of those teams are firing their coaches. The Cardinals just hired Jonathan Gannon. The other three teams like their coaches. So that leaves us the NFC South, where all four teams could be firing their coaches. Carolina, Belichick is not going to go work for that owner with that quarterback situation. New Orleans, Belichick, again, they don't have a quarterback, and also Belichick has been better than any GM ever, essentially, at making sure your cap situation isn't screwed up. The Saints' cap situation is perpetually screwed up. Cross them off. So now we're down to 2 teams. Atlanta could be intriguing. The offensive weapons are already there. The defense is overachieving this year. It's a winnable division, but you don't have anyone even adjacent to the quarterback in the building. So that then leaves the single most fun option, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you remember when Baker was coming out of school, it was rumored the Patriots liked him. Furthermore, they have cleaned up their cap situation entirely. It is a winnable division. And last and certainly not least, what is the only way Bill Belichick could theoretically totally even the who won the divorce with Tom Brady? If he also goes to Tampa Bay and wins. They're going to need a coach. They've got players on defense. They have, you say what you want about Baker, he's definitely the best quarterback in the division. They have offensive weapons. I'm not saying that's going to happen. What I'm saying is that's the most fun option. And I think Bill Belichick still has his fastball defensively. I like the idea of it. That is certainly, from a storyline perspective, the best. You stay on the East Coast. It's a quick trip to your house in Cape Cod. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bill Belichick, collision course. Make it happen. That's my answer. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.